welcome back to our channel, Libra Aesthetics and Wellness.
Hello.
I'm Aisha Thomas, the Medical Director.
And I'm Lisa Parker, Nurse Practitioner.
And today's topic is healthy weight. So if you want to hear about how you can maintain a healthy weight, please continue to watch. So today I think it will be a very interesting topic for many of us because here at Libra Aesthetics and Wellness, we found that this is our most,
Talked about
program. So let's talk about what really is weight. What's really weight? I guess when we think about our weight, we think about going on the scale and seeing a number, and sometimes thinking, oh boy. And sometimes weight is when we're walking, we're saying, oh boy, our thighs are starting to rub together. And you know, I read some interesting statistics recently that in 1958, a woman who's a size 8, if you compare a woman who's a size 8 now, that same woman in 1958 would be a size 16. And a woman in 1958 would be 126 pounds, and now she would be 166 pounds. So she would be 1 inch taller though. But it's really telling us how as a country we've all become bigger.
Mm-hmm.
So there are many factors that contribute to weight and weight gain, because I think that people are more interested in how to keep their weight at a comfortable level and something that they feel that they can manage through life. And we often call it a weight loss journey, because it's something that sort of ebbs and flows. Sometimes we're a little bit higher, sometimes we're a little bit lower. And with women, for example, we have children, and sometimes we're significantly higher. And then, you know, like me, we're, we've had the baby and we still get asked, how many months are you? So let's talk about the factors that can contribute to weight gain. Actually, before we do that, let's define a little bit about weight.
Right.
So let's talk about first maybe our BMI. So what that is really a ratio of our weight over our height. And that helps us to know whether we're in the healthy range. There's another thing that's critical as well, which is the measurement of your waist in inches. Because we find that when your waistline is a little too large, you're at risk for certain chronic illnesses. Like in a gentleman, if it's more than 40, or in a woman, if it's more than 35. And we find that with age, those things are creeping up. Mm-hmm. You might be at higher risk for things like arthritis, certain types of cancers, diabetes type 2, high cholesterol, heart disease, strokes, and the list can go on and on. So therefore, weight is not just a vanity thing, but it's something that informs our health overall. And the CDC itself says that it is actually a chronic illness when we are obese, when we are when our BMI is more than 30, because we want it to be less than 24.9. So when it's getting over 25, we're getting to the overweight. And when it's over 30, we're definitely getting into the obese. And when it's over 40, we're getting into the morbidly obese, and those things become life-threatening. I know that now we're becoming more body positive. At the same time, we have to weigh things where we have to be cautious, especially with our children, that we sort of give them the right example about health. So I was mentioning earlier, let's talk about the things that can contribute to weight. Now here at Libra, we live a lifestyle. We call it the Libra lifestyle. Mm-hmm. And we always talk about here the things that contribute to that. The first thing I'll mention is sleep. How does sleep contribute to your weight? We do find in studies that persons who sleep for less than 7 hours a night could have increased weight gain. It's for a few reasons. It could be because of various hormones that change in your body. There's a hormone called leptin, which is an appetite suppressant, and that is not created when we are not sleeping enough. So you find that you get more hungry. You might find that there's too much cortisol when you're not sleeping enough, and that helps you feel more hungry as well. And when you don't sleep enough, you may not have the energy to even exercise, which we know is necessary to help balance our weight. So let's go into the next thing, which is we always talk about that here, Lisa, your mood.
Mm-hmm.
The mood does play a large
No,
factor.
I'm in a good mood. We don't talk about my mood.
You always are. It's great to work with you for that reason. But regarding mood,
Right.
why does mood play such a huge factor in weight? I think it's for different reasons. One could be, for example, I'll tell you what, at that time of the month, you know, for women, the hormones fluctuate then, and you might find that it's for biological reasons. Your body wants you to crave more things that are more fatty, more salty, more things that increase your dopamine, like chocolate, because you know certain things can increase your mood. Certain cheeses can increase your mood. Certain wines, because of tyramine and different things. These things are precursors of dopamine and other serotonin and other neurotransmitters. So sometimes your body actually makes you crave things to sort of try to make its own little antidepressant. And so your mood might help you not make the best choice in terms of healthy food, because your mind is trying to crave that tyrosine and other things that it might want.
Mm-hmm.
Your mood might also, if you feel depressed, for example, or you have a low mood, you might not want to exercise. You might not want to get into physical activities. So that's how the mood can contribute to weight, to a healthy weight or lack thereof. Another thing, we keep going back to that, which is exercise. Exercise and weight go hand in hand. While we say that, in terms of weight loss, while exercise may be 20% of what you need to lose weight, but for maintaining weight, exercise is critical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I like to think of this law of motion. What goes in motion remains in motion.
Stays in motion.
It stays in motion.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to stay in motion. You want to keep moving your body, and that way you'll continue to move your body. So what exercise does, obviously, it helps you to expend calories, which we'll get to next when we talk about nutrition, which is one of the critical parts of weight and weight gain and weight loss. But in terms of exercise, the things we like to talk about here with Libra and Libra lifestyle include various forms of activity. One of it could be HIIT exercise. We like talking about HIIT, which is the high intensity interval training, which is where you will push your body for a short period of time and have a short period of rest. This gets your cardiovascular system into a particular zone, which helps with fat loss, and it really helps to tune your muscles and your heart very quickly. So we really like that here. And of course, regular cardio. Regular cardio is very good for tuning up your muscles, tuning up your heart and your cardiovascular system. And this is helpful for weight loss and fat loss over a long period of time. But of course, weight training is even more critical, because weight training helps to build up your muscles, which we know muscles are one of the factors that really help to burn calories, even at rest. Because one of the things I'll mention as well is your BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate. And this is the rate at which you burn calories even at rest. And why that's important is because if anyone wants to start a weight loss journey with us, that's one of the critical things we discuss. Because it's almost like if you're starting a journey, you want to know where you're starting to know where you're heading to. So if you know your basic metabolic rate, you know how many calories you'll burn at rest. We talk about your activity level, whether it is mild, moderate, or if it's vigorous. We can add that in there. And then we'll go into the nutrition component to know really how to really tune things up. So let's get into nutrition now. Nutrition, that is key. Now, you might think a calorie in, a calorie is a calorie. Kind of, but not really. So when you talk about for weight loss, for example, you have sort of, it's where you have a certain number of calories, which is an energy, a sort of energy form. If you consume too much energy, it'll just build up in your body and become stored. So you want to burn that energy and use it. So that's kind of what calories are. So you want to use calories by activity, and you want to kind of have enough calories to be able to live, but not too many calories that you store them as energy. And when you store that energy, usually you store it as fat. Sometimes you store it as glycogen, which is a type of complex carbohydrate that's stored in your muscles. Now, one of my friends had said this, a physician friend of mine. He was like, think of your liver as like the of the fridge of your body, and think of your fat as like the deep fridge. Eugene, thank you, because that was nice and helpful. Because
Right.
you know, if your liver, which is the fridge of your body, is always packed up, you will never use the deep fridge, which is the fat in your system. You'll never get to use it up.
That's true.
And so some people, their liver is always just packed up, and people get up with that fatty liver. So we'll talk about nutrition now and how to optimize that. So that brings up the term diet, which
Right.
is sometimes when we say diet, it's like, it's not a dirty word, but think of a diet as really your lifestyle. Don't think of it as a fad or something that's just short term, but think of it as something that helps you to survive, and think of it as something pleasant. I mean, we all need to have foods that we enjoy, okay? So when we talk about a diet or your nutrition, there's something that's important, your macronutrients as well as your micronutrients. Oftentimes, even as physicians or healthcare workers, we're not taught about nutrition as well as we really should. So the three main things you need to know about nutrition are, in macronutrients, we have your carbohydrates, your fats, and your proteins. So when I say a calorie is not created equal, it's because while, let's say, fats have 9 calories and carbs have 4 calories and proteins have 4 calories, I don't find that the calories in the carbs and the proteins are equal, because they have different physiological effects on the body. They have different effects on your hormones, particularly on your insulin and how it reacts in your system. So that is why I will tell people, you need to know how your body reacts to food. Are you sort of insulin resistant? Does your body preferably digest proteins better, or fats or carbs? So when we meet with you here in the clinic, we get your food diary, we discuss how foods interact with you so we can know how to choose the diet, as we call it. So that gets us into the multiple diets, Lisa, as you know.
Right.
That's what we talk about.
So many. But we really do go into what types of food you like, and we try to discuss, we try to tailor it to your specific food tastes, because we want you to be successful, and we want you to incorporate it into your lifestyle, because we want to help you reach your goals. And we don't want this to be a lifestyle. We want you to eat. We want you to love your life. We want you to live your life, and we want you to feel successful and feel like you can do this, because you can. So yes, it's been great.
Yeah.
It really has been great.
Yeah, so some of the diets that are that people may know about,
Right.
because they've done a few studies. What diets are useful or successful? I mean, sometimes it's a wash, where they say once you really expend the right amount of calories, that your, as I said, your basic metabolic rate, your activity level, you've calculated your macronutrients, you have a good amount of micronutrients that you're eating, and Lisa will go next into supplements and the micronutrients, then you have a good chance of being successful. They've said Weight Watchers does good. They've said keto can do well. My little caveat on keto, personally, is I think it's a great adjunctive to get you to a certain point. It may not be the best for long term.
Right.
I might say get you to a point where you can now comfortably exercise now. If somebody's morbidly obese, we want
Right.
to get the fat off your body quickly. We might say do keto initially before you exercise, because if you exercise with a significant amount of weight, it might cause a little more joint issues. And then when you get your weight down, we'll start a little bit of exercise, and you might need a little more carbs added in slowly, and we'll work with you on that. Of course, you have the low carb diets, as we talked about, which is keto is a form of it. We have like the paleo and the whole foods diet, which I tend to like. I tend to favor diets that have a lot of fiber, because they keep you full, a lot of omegas, because these are very helpful. These are good fats. They're anti-aging as well. I favor things with whole foods, because these are also anti-aging, and they also keep you very satiated and full, and they're more natural. And I like to avoid the processed foods, avoid the sodium, because it helps, these kind of keep you bloated. And in the short term, you might feel, just losing the water weight is great. Seeing that come off on the scale.
3 pounds at the first couple of days, it makes you feel great, and you're like, yes, I feel wonderful.
Let's take it. We'll take it.
We'll take it.
And so, like Lisa said, we want you to be able to enjoy the diet that you choose, and choose something that will be healthy. For me, I did lose some pounds a few years ago, and I figured what works for me is just everything in moderation, because I do enjoy all foods. I'm an omnivore, so For me, I just like a little bit of everything. So I'm like, what do I want to eat today? And I'll just make sure I incorporate fruits, vegetables, enough water. Please avoid drinking your calories. Please avoid high fructose corn syrup, like the devil, like the plague. This actually changes your metabolism. So these are the things I would say, because those toxins, they do have a huge factor on your weight with time. I will mention a few more things before Lisa goes into the supplements. Aging has a huge factor to play on weight gain, because your hormones change as you age. And over time, we've had a bigger exposure to toxins, because we do find that fat is one of the places that your body tends to want to store the toxins. You see, fat is sort of inert, and your body is like, you know what, I don't want this in a vital organ, so let me store this non-thing into something that is not going to affect this person long term. So it just says, let me store it in the fat. So you tend to build up fat over time, especially if you've been exposed to a significant amount of toxins. So if you find that you've been gaining weight and you say, I've been eating the same for no reason, you're saying you're still exercising, it might be something to consider, that you might need a good detox. And that's something we can assess here for you in the clinic, of course. It's always our pleasure to do so. So now I'll let Lisa talk to you about the supplements, which is really speaking to the micronutrients that have a huge factor to play on the weight cycle. Thank you.
Well, I have a couple that I'm going to discuss with you tonight. I do know that the FDA does regulate a couple of dietary supplements. They require a listing of all the ingredients in a particular supplement. That way you can know what's involved in them. They also list if there's any kind of soy, protein, dairy products, anything that's in them, which is great because everybody has been quite particular. Any kind of allergies, their diets. I mean, there's so many kind of allergies that everybody's got going on these days. So that's a great benefit, because it used to be you could pick up a supplement on the shelf and you never really knew what was inside of the capsule. So that was quite dangerous. So now they're very safe, which is wonderful. And there are a couple that are on the shelf now that I'll discuss with you that can help with weight loss. We also have a company called Fullscript that we partner with, that we offer our supplements for in-house. We also have it as a link on our website, libraaestheticsandwellness.com. So you can go there, and it is a direct link in. You could take a look at our catalog. These are ones that Aisha and I have chosen, or Dr. Thomas have chosen on our website. They correlate along with our programs that we have here. And there's some tips on there through each one of our programs that you can look through as well to help supplement your life. And you can write us an email through that or on our website. Either way, we're happy to help you any way we can. Tonight, I've chosen fish oil, which Dr. Thomas spoke about earlier. It is a really great supplement. It helps reduce inflammation in the adipose tissue. And like she's saying, inflammation kind of stores itself and it kind of swells your body and it kind of holds onto it. So, the swelling, you feel tight. It kind of helps soothe internal inflammation that you've got, that kind of promotes the weight gain. So weight loss kind of becomes easier once you start taking the fish oil. So another study that I looked at too kind of helps shift the balance of your hunger hormones. So it kind of dials down your urge to actually want to eat. So that's great, because that kind of helps your mood, because you don't want to eat, so you don't feel stuffed, you don't feel so full, so you actually have energy to help move around, which is great because that also encourages you to want to move and exercise. So we go back to the big E word, which is energy and exercise, which work great together, which helps you lose weight. And ultimately, at the end of the day, that's what we want you to do. Is you want to feel frisky, you want to feel youthful, you want to feel young, you have life in your favorite word, vitality. You have that. So that brings me to your B complexes, which also helps promote energy. It enhances your energy even further than what you've got. These extra B vitamins, we do have mixed shots in the office, and we also do B vitamins, which are intramuscular. Their role in metabolism, it just is energy production. It advocates weight loss by furthering boosting your energy. You can exercise longer. You know, you just are more vital. That's all I can really just tell you about it. You just feel good. On a week-to-week basis, let's say you have a 1 pound a week goal for you to lose your weight. This helps give your energy. It helps you burn better. We always say you always feel like this undertone of a not a burning sensation, but you can just feel your metabolism working when you start taking this B complex. And that's a great feeling when you get on the scale and your goal is 1 pound, but it's like 1.5 or it's 1.8, and dare I say even 2 pounds on a week-to-week basis, because you've added this B complex and it's really working with your body, and you have this great synergistic effect of working towards your goal. So they have this category of a supplement called a carb blocker. And the carb blocker is also known as a starch blocker. And what it does, it blocks the enzymes that helps break down the complex carbs. So basically it meets your intestines, kind of doesn't break the food all the way down. So it kind of goes all the way throughout your body. So it doesn't exactly absorb all of the food. So this is the way a carb blocker moves through your body. So in essence, it kind of helps you not absorb those calories and the food that you're eating. So that's the way that one works as far as the category of weight loss. So your metabolic synergistic supplements, these work by kind of regulating your blood sugar and your any kind of, how do I say this? Like, it helps not complicate your health condition by spiking your blood sugar. So it kind of like makes it regulate, how do I say that?
I guess it regulates your insulin.
Regulates your insulin. There you go. Thank you. I was missing the insulin word. So basically, it helps you not have your spikes. So it kind of provides nutrients for breaking down your carbs, your fats, and your proteins. So it's good because it kind of protects against any kind of complications that you can have for out of control glucose levels. So it reduces the risk of diabetes, increased HDLs, increased blood pressures, or all those kind of side effects that you can have due to obesity.
I'll mention it quickly because insulin is something that's become really popular now. People are aware of what it is. It's a hormone that's made in your pancreas.
Right.
And what insulin does, it sort of makes, it's like a little key that opens up your cell, that lets glucose into your cell. Mm-hmm. When insulin isn't present, when insulin doesn't do that, the glucose then will remain extremely high, the glucose will remain high outside of your cells. So people who have diabetes have an issue where they do not produce enough insulin. Thanks, Lise.
Sure.
And therefore they have, you could have diabetes type 1, which you're born with, or diabetes born with or develop very early, or diabetes type 2, which is acquired later.
Thank you. I couldn't think of insulin for. And my last one I want to talk about was lipoic acid, which is a supplement that promotes the reduction of body weight and fat mass by decreasing food intake and enhancing your energy expenditure. So in addition to contributing to weight loss, lipoic acid combats many risk factors associated with excess weight, such as poor glucose control, abnormal cholesterol levels, and also chronic inflammation. So just think, if you take a couple of these, you'll just have this great synergistic effect on you, along with your caloric intake regimen that you've got going on. You've got your exercise going on. You have this sleep regimen going on. You've got a good mood going into it because you're actually seeing results. You know, you've got this great team of people that are here supporting you. I think that you're really going to be set up for success. You're going to love the way that you feel. You're going to love the way that you look. I think that this great lifestyle that you're living, which is going to be the Libra lifestyle, you're going to incorporate it. You'll feel wonderful. And I'm just excited for you and your journey. Be happy to support you in any way I can. I know the doctor's here to help support you any way we can. And we're excited to join it with you. So subscribe to our page, like us. Please feel free to do a free consultation with us on LibraAestheticsandWellness.com. You can book through the website, get on our Instagram page, like us there. Facebook, like us there. Yes.
Yeah, please leave any questions below.
Yes.
We're happy to interact with you. We're happy to do wellness consultations because that is my passion. And of course, you know, we're into aesthetics. And I will mention briefly because as part of weight loss, of course, you know, there are several things. There's mesotherapy, which includes injecting certain things into fat pockets. Of course, you know, there's liposuction. We don't do surgical liposuction, but we do have RF, which is radio frequency, where we can target pockets of fat, whether it be under your neck, your abdomen from head to toe. And of course, you know, you can come into our office here at 7955 Bay Street. So thank you for joining us here today for Wellness Wednesday, and look forward for you being part of the Lipo lifestyle. Thank you.
Thank you.